for appointment as member of the National Gender and Equality Commission by a period of 10 days from 5th April 2023. Honorable members, is it the mood of the House that I put the question? Honorable members, I therefore put the question that pursuant to provisions of Article 13 of Public Appointments, Parliamentary Approval Act 2011, relating to extension of period of consideration of nominee for appointment to a public office. This House resolves to extend the period of consideration of the nominee submitted by His Excellency the President for appointment as member of the National Gender and Equality Commission by a period of 10 days from the 5th of April 2023. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 10, motion. Approval of nominees to 2 National Government Constituency Development Fund committees.
Chairperson, please proceed.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the National Government Constituency Development Fund on 2 constituencies committee laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 21st March, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 43(4) of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Act 2015 and paragraph 5(2) and 10, 5(2) and 10 of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Regulations 2016 approves the list of the nominees for appointment to the following 2 constituency committees of the National Government Constituency Development Fund. 1, Samburu East Constituency, and the names are as in the order paper. Then Kandara Constituency, which is also the names are on the order paper. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the members who have these are the last 2 constituencies which we are moving and passing, because they have brought their names, and we are ready, and we want to ask them to do their good work in their various constituencies, because it is their responsibilities with the committee which is there.
The Honorable Majority Leader, what is out of order?
Honorable Speaker, thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt the chair of the NGCDF committee, who is doing a very good job. But Honorable Speaker, when I look around the House, I do not see the members for Samburu East, and I also do not see the member for Kandara constituency. Honorable Speaker, from the 11th and 12th Parliament, at least the 2 houses have been, it has been a tradition that when we are approving these names of constituency CDF committee members, the member of the particular constituency be in the House before we approve the names that relate to their constituency, because they are the ones who are involved in the public participation and the approval process right at the sub-county level of these names. Therefore, request, Honorable Speaker, that we drop this particular motion until such a time that the 2 members will be present in the House. And also, Honorable Speaker, because we cannot be slaving for people to pass their names and they are not even in the House. And you know, we are all sent here by the people of our constituencies to represent them. Therefore, if the member for Kikuyu is not in the House, the business of the people of Kikuyu should pause until the member of Kikuyu comes back. Therefore, I wish to request you, Honorable Speaker, to indulge me and we drop this motion until such a time that the 2 members shall be in the House. And if you notice, Honorable Speaker, the member for Samburu East is actually a replacement. Therefore, it would be dangerous to even be replacing a member when the member is not there to appraise the House of why there is a replacement. The member for Kandara to tell us whether these are the people who are actually elected and nominated at the sub-county level, and therefore beg that we drop this particular motion until such a time when the 2 members are in the House. And it also encourages members, Honorable Speaker, to be present in the business of the House. If we get into the custom of approving things that relate to a member and the member is not in the House, then no member has any business being in the House. Unlike Professor Nyikal, who is always in the House, or the member for Homa Bay constituency, or the Honorable Udo and Honorable Agnes Pareyo, who are always in the House, the member for Kajiado Central, and of course the member for Kikuyu and the member for and member for Thika and member for the Honorable Tandaza and the member for county member for Busia. Honorable Speaker, because it is good, you know, when you are here, Honorable Speaker, you are also being accountable to your constituents. And when you are serving in a risky position like mine, it is also good to be seen, to be here, and to be heard. You know, Honorable Speaker, on Tuesday, I was here the whole day up to the time the House rose in the evening. And Honorable Speaker, I this afternoon seen Mr. Raila Odinga purporting that I was in a meeting somewhere with the Deputy President and the member for Kiharu. And you know, it is allowed to have hallucinations at some age, Honorable Speaker, but please don't hallucinate with me. And I want to request the former Prime Minister, as much as he may have hallucinations, please don't hallucinate with me. I was in the House up to the time the House rose. When I went home, my 3-year-old daughter, who sleeps late like me, Honorable Speaker, we slept around the same time. Actually, I dozed off holding on to my 3-year-old daughter, Honorable Speaker. Point. And I will send Mr. Odinga and the people he was with at that press conference to my 3-year-old daughter to just inform him where I was on that particular Tuesday.
Majority
and
Leader.
Seize the hallucinations.
Honorable members, there are so many points of order, but there is a very important matter that has been raised by the Majority Leader on this subject. Well, the Honorable Nyikal on my left and...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker. First of all, my point of order is...
What is out of order, first of all?
What out of order, Madam Speaker, is mentioning people's names who are not in the House, and in a negative way. And yesterday, the speaker, your counterpart, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Farah, said that is out of order. I think he mentioned Order 87. You can exactly say what they did, but you cannot go on to say somebody is having hallucinations, because that's not a fact. You can say he said this, he said that, but you can't proceed to make those. So I think, Madam Speaker, I respect the member very much, the leader of a majority, but we must remember that we have leaders and people respect their leaders. And when you mention leaders negatively, you raise unnecessary tension in the House, and therefore you defeat the purpose of the debate. So with that, I'm still asking, he is out of order, and actually he should withdraw that statement. But what he has raised, I support, and it's important. But he is out of order in the contribution he made.
Very well, Honorable Member for Seme. Honorable members, I would like you to desist from mentioning individuals negatively in your debate. Majority Leader, I would like to give you a chance to clarify on that matter, and if you did not mean it, then you may wish to withdraw, especially on the part of hallucinations.
You know, Honorable Speaker, and the Honorable Nyikal knows, because he has been in government, standing order 87(3) says that shall be out of order to use offensive or insulting language, whether in respect of members or the House or other persons. It doesn't even say other persons who are not in the House. It is any other person. And that's why, Honorable Speaker, I am very cautious what I say and how I say it. And I said it is normal at a certain age to have hallucinations. Therefore, if it is normal, and the Honorable Dr. Nyikal is a medical doctor of repute, he knows it is actually proven medically that it is normal to have hallucinations at a certain age. And therefore, if somebody out there has hallucinations about me being present somewhere that I am not, or organizing things that I may have not organized, Honorable Speaker, and for instance, I could not say that Honorable Nyikal I could expressly state that Honorable Nyikal has hallucinations. But if I say someone of the age of the Honorable Nyikal is likely to have hallucinations, those are two different issues, Honorable Speaker. And that is all I stated, Honorable Speaker.
The honorable members, if you say point of order and I cannot see your name on the intervention. The Honorable Kaluma, member for Homa Bay Town.
Yeah, I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you know, when you make a ruling as the Speaker, we should be led in respecting it, beginning by the majority leader. And I think our good friend, the majority leader, is forgetting himself at times. But majority leader, you are the leader of this entire House. And by the way, you are the fourth in government ranking. So when a side of the House requests you show respect, whether you hate our leadership to whatever extent. In fact, I think you are the one of us who are hallucinating over Raila and Uhuru. Withdraw it so that with dignity Parliament can transact business. Because when you do so, we go into relevant things and we distract the House's business. I would request, Honorable Speaker, that when you make a ruling like that, there is either an unequivocal apology or a withdrawal, so that we move as a unit under the leadership of the majority leader in the House.
Honorable members, I do not wish to continue with these points of order because we will not be able to transact the business that we are transacting. And I would like to request you, honorable members, to be led by our standing orders, number 87.3. It shall be out of order to use offensive or insulting language, whether in respect of members of the House or other persons. Honorable members, the guidance that I would like to give you is that let us proceed without using offensive and insulting language, because we are not going to transact business that has brought us to this honorable August House. Honorable members, allow me now to go back to the matter that was raised by the majority leader concerning the procedural motion number 9 on extension of motion of consideration. Honorable members, I withdraw that and raise that it is odd motion number 10 on approval of nominees to 2 National Government Constituency Development Fund Committees. Honorable members, I know that you really want to contribute to this, but I would like to guide this way, that indeed it has been practiced. We have perused documents, and it has been practiced that the constituencies, especially when it concerns members of NGCDF, cannot be discussed when members of those particular constituencies are not in the House. So, honorable members, I order that that business is dropped. It will be scheduled again by the House Business Committee. Let's proceed. Next order.
Order number 11, motion. Reports of the 144th and 145th Assemblies of the Interparliamentary Union, IPU.
Very much. Honorable Tonke, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, sorry, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House notes the reports of the 144 and 145 Assemblies of the Interparliamentary Union laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 7th March 2023, and Thursday, 2nd March 2023, respectively. Honorable Speaker, the 144th Assembly of the Interparliamentary Union, IPU, took place from 20th to 24th March 2022 at the Bali International Convention Center in Indonesia. The theme of the general debate at the 144th Assembly was getting to zero, mobilizing parliaments to act on climate change. Honorable Speaker, the IPU is domiciled in the Senate, and the Kenyan delegation to the 144th Assembly meeting comprised of the following. The Right Honorable Senator Kenneth M. Lusaka, EGH MP, the Speaker of the Senate and leader of the delegation then, Senator Susan Kihika, MP, who is now the Governor Nakuru, a delegate, immediate former president of IPU Forum of the Women Parliamentarians, Honorable Sophia Abdi Nur, MP, President IPU Standing Committee on UN Affairs, Honorable Professor Jacqueline Oduol, MP, President IPU High Level Advisory Group on Counter-Terrorism and Violent Extremists, Honorable Waweru Kiarie, MP, Member IPU Committee to promote respect for international humanitarian law, and is still the President to date. Honorable Speaker, I'd like to highlight that the IPU was founded in 1889 to promote interparliamentary dialogue and diplomacy between nations. Since then, Honorable Speaker, the IPU has become a unique global convening power for parliamentary networking, especially through its assemblies. The Assembly is the IPU's main political body, through which the IPU member parliaments adopt parliamentary resolutions on global issues. It plays a pivotal role in addressing the issues which threaten peace, democracy, and sustainable development, including through its 4 thematic standing committees. At the assemblies, MPs from around the world come together to exchange good practice and build bridges at the parliamentary level. Honorable Speaker, the National Assembly delegation to the Assembly and related meetings played significant roles in their various capacities. Honorable Speaker, in her capacity as the President of the Standing Committee on United Nations Affairs, the Honorable Sophia Abdi Nur, MP, chaired the meetings of the committee and presented its report to the Assembly. The Honorable Professor Jacqueline Oduol, MP, having served as Vice President, was elected President of the IPU High Level Advisory Group on Counterterrorism and Violent Extremism. In this capacity, the Honorable Member chaired meetings of the committee and presented its report to the Assembly. The Honorable Waweru Kiarie, MP, in his capacity as a member of the IPU Committee to promote respect for international humanitarian law, chaired meetings of the committee in the absence of their substantive president and had the honor to present its report to the Assembly. Honorable Speaker, in fact, as we stand now, Honorable Kiarie is the president of that committee. He took over in our last IPU at Rwanda. Honorable Speaker, it's noteworthy that during the 144th Assembly, delegations from 101 member parliaments took part. In this regard, 778 delegates who attended the Assembly, 404 were members of Parliament, 393 from member parliaments, and 11 from associate member delegations. Those parliamentarians included 30 presiding officers, 28 deputy presiding officers, 154 women MPs, which is 38.1%, and 110 young MPs, which is a representative of 27.2%. The inaugural ceremony was graced by His Excellency Mr. Joko Widodo, the President of the Republic of Indonesia. Others present included Mr. Duarte Pacheco, President of the IPU, and Mr. Martin Jukong, Secretary General of the IPU. With regard to the agenda of the Assembly, Honorable Speaker, in addition to the theme of the general debate that was getting to zero, mobilizing parliaments to act on climate change, the Assembly further considered and approved a request for the inclusion of an emergency item in the agenda. The proposal submitted by the delegation of New Zealand, entitled Peaceful Resolution of the War in Ukraine, respecting international law, the Charter of the United Nations, and territorial integrity. Having obtained the required 2/3 majority and the largest number of positive votes cast, was added to the agenda of the Assembly. Madam Speaker, usually when the IPU meet during the Assembly, the agenda, when it's presented, it is adopted and presented as it is. Honorable Speaker, may I inform the House that on 24th March 2022, the Assembly endorsed the Lusa-Dua Declaration on getting to zero, mobilizing parliaments to act on climate. Furthermore, the 144th IPU Assembly adopted by consensus the resolution on peaceful resolutions of the war in Ukraine, respecting international law, the Charter of the United Nations, and territorial integrity. At the 145th Assembly of the Interparliamentary Union, Honorable Speaker, the Interparliamentary Union took place from 11th to 15th October 2022 at the Kigali International Convention Center in Kigali, Rwanda. The theme of the Assembly was Gender Equality, Gender-Sensitive Parliaments as Drivers of Change for a More Resilient and Peaceful World. We held our elections today as KEOPA, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank the KEOPA members for electing Honorable Leah Sangaire as the chair KEOPA and holding a peaceful elections. This is issues of gender. Madam Speaker, the Kenya delegation to the Assembly comprised the following members: the Right Honorable Amason Kingi, EGH MP, leader of the delegation. Senator Dr. Boni Halwale, CBS, Member of Parliament. Senator Catherine Muma, MP. Honorable John Kiarie, MP. Honorable Ngozi Rai, MP. Yours faithfully, Honorable Rebecca Tongei, MP. Honorable Naisula Lesuda, OGW, MP. And Honorable Paul Abor, MP. Honorable Speaker, the 145th Assembly was attended by delegations from 119 member countries, associate members, observers, and other institutions, and was officially opened by His Excellency Paul Kagame, the President of the Republic of Rwanda. Other dignitaries who graced the inaugural ceremony included Mr. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Duarte Pacheco, President of the IPU, and Mr. Martin Chungkong, Secretary General of the IPU. I wish to inform the House, Honorable Speaker, that on 14th October 2022, the Assembly considered and adopted the Kigali Declaration committing parliaments to be drivers of change for a more resilient and peaceful world, to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the IPU's Plan of Action for Gender-Sensitive Parliaments, and to recommit to advance gender equality in all spheres of society. Honorable Speaker, the 144th and 145th Assemblies of the IPU also considered and adopted the reports of the committees of the Assembly, including the Standing Committee on Peace and International Security, 2, the Standing Committee on Sustainable Development, 3, the Standing Committee on Democracy and Human Rights, 4, the Standing Committee on United Nations Affairs, which I am a member. Honorable Speaker, there is also it's a point of order. Madam Speaker, the Committee to Promote Respect for International Humanitarian Law, number 6, the Forum of Women Parliamentarians, 7, the Forum of Young Parliamentarians. On behalf of the members of the National Assembly delegations to the 144th and 145th Assemblies of the IPU, I beg to move that this House notes the reports of the 144th and 145th Assemblies of the IPU as presented. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I might request Honorable Cynthia Munge to second. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Cynthia Munge, please proceed to second the motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to second the motion that the House notes the reports of the Kenya delegation that were held in Indonesia and in Rwanda, the 144th and 145th. Madam Speaker, I want to say that IPU is a great association, an association that gives members of this House an opportunity to be able to benchmark and be able to see what happens in other countries and other parliaments. Honorable Speaker, it is one of the organizations or the unions, Honorable Speaker, or associations, Honorable Speaker, that has given an opportunity to the members of this House who have attended the conferences that have been held since it started in the year that it started, Honorable Speaker. It has diverse issues that it looks at. It gives a global view to many of the issues that we are facing as a nation in Kenya and as Africa as a continent, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I have had an opportunity of attending one of the IPU conferences, Honorable Speaker, and I must say that the number of parliaments that this particular body brings together, Honorable Speaker, is very good, and it brings different kinds of experiences that the parliamentarians have had in their countries, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is the only platform that allows the members of parliament to be heard, that allows the members of parliament to be able to air their views and issues, that allows them to be able to speak on the issues that are affecting them while they are discharging their duties in their various parliaments, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is an association that has opened my eyes, myself having attended one, on issues on security, Honorable Speaker. It is a platform that you don't get to hear and read about the Ukraine and the Russian war, Honorable Speaker, but you actually hear about the testimonies from the members of those particular parliaments, Honorable Speaker. It is the same association, Honorable Speaker, that brings to light the plight of the honorable members of parliaments in different countries, Honorable Speaker, who have had a rough time dealing with oppositions, who have had a rough time dealing with the governments that is in power, who have been manhandled and mishandled, Honorable Speaker, by their governments for standing for the truth or being the true oversight authority in their parliaments, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this particular report is an eye-opener to this House. It actually tells this House that the kind of problems that we are going through, Honorable Speaker, are not domesticated in Kenya alone. They're actually happening all over, Honorable Speaker. And not only that, Honorable Speaker, this is a platform that has been used to send a rallying call, Honorable Speaker, to several issues that are of importance, Honorable Speaker, to the people of Kenya and all the nations in the world, Honorable Speaker. Issues of environment, issues of human rights, and many other issues, Honorable Speaker, that have been handled under IPU. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to urge the House to also adopt the report as it has been tabled, because this is a very important report, Honorable Speaker, and is an eye-opener. I also want to encourage members to be able to go through them. It is in these reports that you get to see the kind of issues that other parliamentarians are going through. You can be able to draw strength from there. You can be able to get new experiences in regards to the responsibilities and duties that you have as a member of parliament by reading and by going through the things that other parliamentarians are going through in the world over, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, I support and I second this particular motion that this House adopts the said report, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. You are on a point of order, member for Ndara. You may proceed, Honorable Member for Kandara.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to bring back to attention a motion on NGCDF that was deferred because I was still in the chambers, but I wasn't present in here, Madam Speaker.
A member for Kandara.
Yes, sir.
You may
Yes,
take
Madam
your
Chair.
seat.
Thank you, Madam.
Yes, the House Business Committee had scheduled the matter for approval of nominees to NGCDF, and indeed it is true that your constituency is one of those that were scheduled, that is Kandara constituency. The matter was dropped, and I would like to encourage you to make sure that you're in the House. I'm aware that you are engaged in other parliamentary duties, so make sure that you are here next time so that the matter can be transacted in your presence. Thank you. The Honorable Kemei. Before the Honorable Kemei speaks, honorable members, I would like to propose the question that this House notes the reports of Kenya delegation to the 144th and 145th Assemblies of Interparliamentary Union and related meetings held in Nusa Dua, Indonesia, from 20th to 24th March 2022, and in Kigali, Rwanda, from 11th to the 15th of October 2022, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 7th of March 2023, and Thursday, 2nd of March 2023, respectively. Thank you, members. I see a point of order by the Honorable Kemei. You may proceed.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to first, before I talk about the point of order of what you've said, and I'm concerned that yesterday there was a point of order, there was a ruling by the Speaker that such a report should be referred to our Committee on Regional Integration. So let that one go in record so that next time we don't discuss before it is referred. I want to believe that one, Madam Speaker, on point of order 212. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And then allow me again to...
Honorable member, you are not allowed to raise 2 points of order.
Okay.
Honorable Kemei, the matter that you have raised, and the one that was raised yesterday, was on OACPS, which is different from the matter that is being discussed now, and it is still in consideration. The substantive speaker will be able to rule on that subject. I desist from making any ruling on that matter. The substantive speaker will do so. The Honorable Wilberforce Oundo, you are also on a point of order. What is out of order, Honorable Member?
Honorable Speaker, I wanted to raise on a point of order, but looking at the faces that in the flow of in the House, especially among the newcomers, the first-timers, let me hold on to my point of order for the next 20 minutes until the rains subside so that we can know what to do. Honorable Speaker, the joy of coming to Parliament is to speak on the floor of the House. Even if you are speaking to the empty seats, it is worth it because it will go on record that we made a contribution on the floor of the House. That's why I never tire to encourage the first-timers, especially the young ones. In whatever condition you are, always take all the time you can to come to the floor of the House when the veterans have left, when the House leadership have left, and you'll have all the time to say all that you want so that you learn the art of debating, you learn the art of putting across national points of national importance.
Oundo,
Thank you, Honorable.
Decided to let the speaker imagine the point of order that you wanted to raise.
No, I'm not leading the speaker to imagine anything. I'm just giving further advice to the young parliamentarians. They learn how we do our things. Myself, Dr. Nyikal, we are veterans here and we know how things go. But for now, Honorable Speaker, I will wait patient for my turn to contribute on the motion, and if there is any need, we'll raise the point of order at the appropriate time. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, so then, honorable members, we proceed with debate. The Honorable Florence Jematia, member for Baringo County. The Honorable Harrison Kombe, member for Magarini. Honorable members, I'm just relying on the screen that is here. The Honorable Shakil Shabil, member for Kisumu East. The Honorable Eric Kahungu, member for Honorable members, I would like to say that I have actually lost it on the screen. I think it's a matter that may need some noting. The Honorable Wilberforce Oundo, member for Funyula.
Honorable Speaker, looking at again the faces, probably I'm not a very good reader of the mood of the House. All members being called to contribute do not seem to want to contribute, but allow me to make a few comments so that I leave the rest to proceed from there. Honorable Speaker, International Interparliamentary Union is an important body that allows members of parliament from various parts of the world to assemble and ventilate on many, many issues. I'm encouraged that the theme of the last two meetings has been the issue of climate change. And as we mentioned earlier, the issue of climate change is central to the survival of the planet Earth. As we stand here, Honorable Speaker, we hope during the deliberations, the members who attended the meeting, the assembly, appreciated the impact of climate change on several countries in the world, and I hope and do believe they will go, when they go back to their countries, become champions of climate change. I also hope our members, both from the National Assembly and Senate, who attended the subsequent one in Indonesia from 28th, no, the one on 5th Assembly, would have carried enough information from that meeting, that assembly, and they are going to become in the forefront on the issue of championing climate change. Honorable Speaker, until the rain started raining yesterday or the other day, we had experienced one of the worst droughts we have ever seen in this country. For the over 50 years I've been on this planet, this has been one of the worst droughts I have ever seen. Honorable Speaker, when you watch TV, you listen to news, we talk to our colleagues here. Some parts of this country, northeastern, some parts of the upper eastern, were literally devastated to a point that it became unimaginable that this was still part and parcel of the country called Kenya. Therefore, at any given time, hoping these members, a number of them sit in the Committee of Environment, I hope when they are sitting down to budget, to review the budget estimates, they will put enough emphasis on mitigating on the negative impact of climate change. Honorable Speaker, paradoxically, the rains have started. We are going to hear floods sweeping away very many homes, sweeping away plantations, and probably even drowning animals. It's a shame that we have never had any mitigation factors in place to ensure that we harvest water, this rainwater, so that we can use it subsequent seasons when it's dry to avoid such kind of cases. Honorable Speaker, I also hope and believe our colleagues who go outside there to meet in these assemblies put forth a very strong case for the respect and protection of family values, especially for Africans. I hope they're not going to be coerced, they're not going to be intimidated to come here and start being coy when you talk about the issue of the LGBTQ, whatever we call it, and other alien practices that are trying to bring to our place here, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as we continuously say, this is a house of debate, and members must be allowed to debate as they go forth. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support the motion, and I hope the findings will find their way in various activities, be legislation or policy in this country and the member countries. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very much. The Honorable Andrew Okwome, member for Karachonyo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute to this issue. I thank our members of parliament who attended this meeting in Rwanda, and I think the information they have given us is useful, and I do want to appreciate them. Madam Speaker, there are many problems which are common to parliamentarians in terms of their countries. They go through same problems like us, and when our MPs meet the other MPs, they automatically exchange views, and those views, some of them become solutions to our problems. I have in mind climate change, which is really a common problem internationally. I have also in mind economic issues, which really is a big problem, especially for a country like ours. I also do know that in social life, we have common problems, like what we went through on Monday this week. It is a problem that others also go through. As we know, South Africa, for example, had a problem. They were picketing and also demonstrating. And one thing which I admire, especially in relation to South Africa, is that they did theirs peacefully and without sending anybody to the grave. That's something we have to admire. And we have to question ourselves and search our souls as to why, with us, wherever we have people exercising their constitutional right in terms of picketing and demonstration, you normally find some lives are lost. We have to admit that we are deficient somewhere and identify those areas for corrective purposes. I'm aware, Madam Speaker, that if somebody asks me who was wrong in this, I clearly will say that our police need to check themselves, because the solution is not with killing your own brothers so that you cause those who see you doing a wrong thing trying to defend themselves using stones, because that's the only available weapon to them. And if they do that, some people say those who threw stones to defend themselves are the wrong ones, and those who use guns to kill those who are exercising their democracy, those are the bad elements. Now, we tend to turn things the other way around. Those kind of things, if I were one of the delegates, I would have really exploited their presence in Rwanda to know how they handle those things. We need to know honestly how we can handle the people who are grieved, people who are saying they are suffering and they are exercising their democratic right, and I would say their constitutional right, so that we do not kill those who are exercising their constitutional rights. Meeting of the minds is important. And what happened in Rwanda when international parliamentarians were meeting there was really a change of ideas, which is very important. So from the report we are given, I urge our members of parliament to see what we lack so that we can improve ourselves. Madam Speaker, with those I support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Eric Kahungu, member for Madeira.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity this evening to comment on the report that has been brought by the Honorable Member with regard to the members who traveled to Rwanda and other countries. Mr. Speaker, I must say that in this country we have the best reports, Mr. Speaker, but unfortunately, most of those reports ends up in shelves. Most of them, Madam Speaker, they are not implemented. It's my wish that some of these reports, Madam Speaker, they are going to be utilized for the benefits of this country, Madam Speaker. And since they traveled to Rwanda and South Africa and other countries, Madam Speaker, it's my wish that they learned on how Rwanda went through a lot of pain during genocide, Madam Speaker. And what we are experiencing today on Mandamano, Madam Speaker, I hope we can learn on how we can ban a country because of something starting small like Mandamano. I would wish to ask those who are participating in Mandamano. There are so many ways we can solve the issues surrounding the country. The elections, we are done, we finished, we are done with the elections. And Madam Speaker, if it is a must someone be listened after elections, someone who lost an election, it is not through Mandamano. We have lost a life, Rwanda lost lives. It is a learning process we should learn, that it is not a must we do Mandamano, we throw stones, we insult each other. If we are done with elections, if we are defeated, it is a good way to accept that elections have been completed and we move forward with this country. Madam Speaker, most of those people who are calling for Mandamano, they were in the center stage when this economy was ruined down. They were in the center stage when the prices of unga went up, Madam Speaker. During those times, they were not speaking. They were not telling us that the prices of unga were hiked. It is only now that the shoe has turned, they are telling us that the prices of unga have gone up. It is my plea, Madam Speaker, that we learn when we go for those trips. When we go to Rwanda, we know what happened in Rwanda. When we go to South Africa, they are also doing Mandamano, but they are doing peaceful Mandamano, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Madeira,
yes,
you are debating very well,
yes,
but please to stick to the rule of relevance,
yes,
which is in Standing Order 106.
Madam Speaker, I
know you are still learning.
Yes.
But
Madam Speaker, I was only asking that when we go to some of these countries, we learn and we implement those reports. And when we go, we can also learn what happened to those countries when they participated in genocide, in killing each other, in fightings. So I'm only saying, Madam Speaker, that we implement those reports amicably. We don't just shelve them, we implement them, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity.
Very well spoken, Member for Madeira. The Honorable Betty Maina, Member for Moranga.
Madam Speaker, my microphone is as short as I am. Probably I can use the next one if you don't mind, but...
Kindly, avail a better mic. The mic that she has is too short for her. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. And when the member from Madeira was speaking, he consistently repeated, Mr. Speaker. Maybe kindly to remind them that we have a Madam Speaker and the leadership of this House is coming to birth, that women can be in leadership position. Madam Speaker, I wish to appreciate the members who had visited several countries and they brought a report here. Madam Speaker, I echo the sentiments of my colleague that in this nation we are good at keeping reports in our shelves. As a way of good practice, Madam Speaker, it is prudent for us to be learning from the nations that we visit. A good case study, in South Africa, they were able to arrest and put in jail a former president. These are the good practices we should be learning from these nations that we visit. In Rwanda, we have learned and the very many things that happen due to bad politics. These are the things that we should be learning as political leaders. And these are the things that as political leaders should guide us when we are practicing bad politics. So thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for giving me this chance. And we continue appreciating you for good job. And we continue urging our fellow parliamentarians to learn about the good practices when we visit countries and we learn what will not pick. So Madam Speaker, because Madam Speaker, when I wish to comment more about the Rwanda genocide, when you talk about the Maandamano, I'm only trying to talk about the things that are happening in this nation. When you talk about Maandamano as a bad practice, Madam Speaker, this nation is going through much, and especially we are losing so much in the capital city when people just wake up and decide to go for Maandamano. As a good practice, Madam Speaker, we respect the constitution of this nation, whereby when people are elected, they should be given an opportunity to lead, and those who lose in election should give those who won in the election an opportunity to lead as a way of respecting our constitution. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to participate. Thank you.
Very well, member for Moranga. The Honorable Beatrice Elachi, member for Dagoretti.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First of all, Madam Speaker, before I speak on the motion, I just want to send my condolences to many of my families in Dagoretti North. Some of the kids who were carried away with water today, this morning. I'm looking at what we are debating. I'm wondering, are we looking at the disaster of this rain? Yet we have government that does not have machinery to even remove children from a river. It has been very sad today. So even as we speak of all this, and we speak about the trips that we go, I want to congratulate Rwanda because they are taking over from Kenya, because of our own corruption, because of what we have done to our country that God blessed us with, a country God gave us, that we can be the hub of Africa. But today, our young people are languishing. Our young people have no jobs. All the jobs have gone to Rwanda. We have NBA today in Rwanda. We have another hub coming in Rwanda. It is so sad that it is Kenyans who have built Rwanda, and Rwanda that is flourishing. But here, because of the 10 years of lust of money, 10 years, Madam Speaker, that we went through, people thinking of themselves, we have killed Kenya. We as leaders in this House, we do as if it's a joke. We play around. Madam Speaker, I am a victim that was taken to Hague to stand in a gap between the former president and now the president, something that I have never spoken of. That is why it's not that I can't do Maandamano. I have seen what it can bring to a family. I have seen how a family can go to hell. You pray, you fast to come out of things you never did. And men are the ones who signed my signature, not me myself. So as we speak for that, I want us to focus to Kenya. I want to speak to my government, to our government, because they are the government of the day. Sometimes you need to be a David. You must be a David that looked at Saul and did what was right for Israel. Sometimes pride can take you to a wrong direction. And therefore, if we do not have leaders in this house who can face the president, face the former prime minister, and tell them, look, there is Kenya beyond all of you, then we will be fearing to do what is just for this country. Madam Speaker, we need a third force that comes and says this is right. You don't need to be a person who will see young people. You are joking with these things you are talking about. Yesterday it was a joke. Let me tell you how it comes to divide us in Nairobi. That is the time you'll see young people, those defending their properties, those who don't have properties, will be the ones now being eaten. They will eat themselves alive. Us who are laughing here, trying to please to get a ticket of 2027, the other one trying to please to show the Kalenjin how you can speak for your president. Excuse me, we will be left, we will be found again. They will come for us. They will come for us.
What is out of order? Member for Madera?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Is it in order
Would you like to state the standing order?
The standing order that says you need to substantiate on a statement you're making on the floor of the House, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, is it in order for Honorable Elachi to insinuate that His Excellency William Ruto is the president for Kalenjins only because she stated that when a Kalenjin asks about your president? Madam Speaker, I don't find it in order, Madam Speaker, when Honorable Elachi says that His Excellency William Ruto is the president for Kalenjin, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Beatrice Elachi, please respond to the matter that has been raised by the member for Madera.
I have no in any Hansard has said the president is a Kalenjin president. I have said, and I want to repeat it so that it goes on the standing orders in the Hansard, that as we joke and enjoy the game here, and we want to please the president, that I am a Kalenjin, I have spoken for my president, I am a Luo, or I am a Rio, I've spoken for Raila. That is what I meant. And I am calling both of them. By the way, thank God I was given one grace. I would wish to tell when my president is doing right, this you have done right. I have wished to tell my party leader, this is right. And God give me the grace that I will remain that way. I will never allow myself to come and say something that I know as women of Kenya, we are going to suffer because these are our children. This is our children. They are not the children of any other person. Just the way the mama of Baringo is crying with bandits, just the way the mama of Nairobi is crying for unga, just the way the mama of Central is crying for her unga, is the same mother, the same pain. All I am saying as leaders, that even as we speak and appreciate the trips we go, our country.
Honorable Beatrice Elachi, you seem to be continuing with debate, and since this is a house of records, the clerks have reviewed the statement you made, and you have not
Madam
said...
Speaker, I withdraw. If that is the issue, I withdraw that statement then. If that will please us, I've withdrawn. Because I didn't say. I gave an example of how we debate. We debate for people to see us. We debate to see. I am so-and-so debating. That's all I was saying.
The Honorable Beatrice Elachi,
I withdrew.
According to the record, you did not say that. The records are clear.
Yes.
So you do not need to withdraw.
Oh, thank you, Madam Speaker.
The explanation that you have made already explains, and I believe that the Honorable Member for Madera
and I can never
is
say
satisfied.
that. I know the president is the president of...
You may proceed.
This is a president of Kenya. I am not crazy also. I don't play those politics. But then, Madam Speaker, all I'm saying, we can bring back Kenya. We can make Kenya survive. We can bring it back if we are willing as leaders in this house to also, when we see the executive do something that is not right, just tell them it's not right. As I finalize, Madam Speaker, we were supposed to have a debate of CDF in this house. And I want to ask the government, you gave 14 billion for CDF, the balance is 33 billion. We need the resources. We only have 11 weeks after we come for recess. We shall not be able, even the government cannot be able to disburse that money. GAF only got 1 billion, and we need GAF to be given their 2 billion. With that, Madam Speaker, I beg to support.
Thank you, Honorable Beatrice. I see a point of order by the Honorable Beatrice Kemei, member for Kericho.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise on point of order 35. Standing order, sorry. Looking around, I don't think we have quorum, Madam Speaker.
Well, honorable members, I order that the bell be rung for 10 minutes. Honorable members, kindly be guided that you cannot leave the house when the bell is being rung. So you can't leave, honorable members.
No, come on, I'm only hoping Shabir will not be involved. Yeah, the new one. I think waliona kama wana mistake from the word go, so they lost interest. Hatukuwa accommodate Zure. Sorry?
Honorable members, 10 minutes is over. And honorable members, standing order number 32 states that if on the count under paragraph 1, a quorum does not appear to be present, the speaker or the chairperson shall cause the division bell to be rung. And if no quorum is present at the expiry of the 10 minutes, now the House will be adjourned. So, honorable members, and the time now being 7 minutes past 5 p.m. This House stands adjourned until Tuesday, the 11th day of April 2023 at 2:30 p.m.
Orders are concerned have been met. Where we are, we either defeat this report or the report carries the day. It's up to you, honorable members. It's not up to the chair. My role was to chair that meeting, which I did. My role was to sign that report as a chair of the committee, as demanded of me by Standing Order 191. Which I did. So kindly be guided, those remaining to contribute. Proceed. Senator Korir. Honorable Senators, the only time you raise on a point of order is when another senator is on his feet. It's clearly